Hello walking fans, Walk 51. Andy and I met up for a day in April 2022, just about a year after we'd started this whole coast path adventure. And although it's the 51st leg, we actually did this quite early on in our Southwest Coast Path adventure. So, an unusual walk this, in that it's the only circular one on the entire project, and we look forward to it immensely. So off we set bright and early from the car park just beyond the Ferry Bridge Inn, which sadly is no more. So off we strode once again on the mighty Southwest Coast Path. Narrow strip of land joins Weymouth and the mainland to the Isle of Portland, and we sauntered along at a steady old pace. In time we reached Chesil, a rather attractive inn there, snuck past that, up the steps and onto the 300-foot high cliffs at the northern end of the Isle of Portland, which were to be our companions for much of the morning's walking all the way down to Portland Bill. Once on the top of the Isle of Portland and well over 300 feet above sea level, the view back to the west is handsome indeed. The walking that we've done laid out below us, and Chesil Beach looked particularly impressive on this pleasant spring day. Very soon we were to hit the first of the many quarries that pockmark the whole of the Isle of Portland. Given how much Portland stone you see around Britain, forming the often civic buildings there, it's amazing that there's any of this island left still, and quarrying goes on to this day. And the first quarry we reached was Tout Quarry, and tout in these parts means lookout. Well, look out now for sculptures, because this has been turned rather imaginatively, I think, into a sculpture quarry, and there's plenty of weird and wonderful things to see here. My favourite has got to be this one, which looks like a lightning bolt has partially cleaved this very impressive block of stunning Portland stone. We had a steady old walk down the western cliffs of the Isle of Portland. I tried hard to spot the place where I thought I once took students to see a massive ammonite poking like a car tyre out of a cliff face or quarry face of Portland stone, but I think it's long since fallen away. We get to Portland Bill in due course and stop there for a bite to eat and a cup of coffee. Quite a few folk out and about enjoying the lighthouse. I pointed out to Andy the marvellous raised beach on top of a raised rock platform that was formed when global sea levels were so much higher than they currently are in the last major period between ice ages. After our break, Andy and I headed back north, and I enjoyed very much the signs of former quarry activity and stone transportation on the eastern side of Portland Bill. I also liked the signs of the former presence of ice in the ground in these rocks and deposits. But more than anything else around these parts, I really enjoyed Shedtown or Shedsville. Marked on the ordnance map as lawn sheds, this collection and array of huts provides some kind of bohemian lifestyle community for those who want to live on this, what can be at times a pretty bleak and hostile spot. Lovely. Well, basically remains of a stone quarry on the east flank of the Isle of Portland, Slingers Isle in Hardy's Speak. Andy and me back on the SWCP, and behind us, pretty indistinct in today's light conditions, are the final stages all the way through to Lulworth Cove, Kimmeridge, St Albans Head, round the corner to Swanage, and then the end point of the mighty SWCP at Southaven Point. Portland has its attractions. They've escaped me largely, and I think that's fair to say for Andy as well. If you like quarries, which generally I do, it's a bit of a quarry environment. Lots of sheds and shacks. Some holiday homes at the top of the cliff here. We're approaching what Portland is
known for, which are the two prisons, the former Borstal young offenders and the adult male prison, which there's a story to be told about that one at some point. But very pleasant day, and we've done about 8 miles already, so not much more to do. I'm looking forward to as pleasant a journey home on the A37 as I had down. Andy's here for the week, lucky sod.
Church Ope Cove came up on us pretty rapidly, and we enjoyed the climb up and out of that, taking in some climbers on the Portland Stone, and our walk was nearing its end, or certainly nearing its end on the more scenic parts of the Isle of Portland, because we were routed up and inland and past the two prisons, the young offenders and then the adult male prison category C, which I was told by Louise, who runs the Gresham guest house on the beautiful Esplanade in Weymouth, that this is the prison that housed that infamous former pop star of the 1970s and my teenage years, the horrible man Gary Glitter. Anyway, don't want to think too much about that. We passed the highest point on the island and started a rather splendid, if straight, descent down the Merchants Tramway, which was used for hauling stone, well, not for hauling it, for hauling the trucks up, I think using water power and sending them back down full of Portland stone down to the docks to be carted away in coasters to the many and various cities in Britain that use this wonderful stone. Pretty shortly our walk ended as we had lovely views of the walking yet to be done around the Isle of Purbeck, and we thought a lot about the next time that we're here and start walking from Ferrybridge and heading eastwards. That will mark the very end, probably in 3 legs, of our Southwest Coast Path adventure. Coming up close and personal to 2 prisons does make you think and ponder about crime and punishment. I note also that the men's prison, which is now a category C, for a short period of time back in the recent past, was used as a detention centre for asylum seekers and refugees who were being detained at Her Majesty's pleasure under a cruel, cruel government. Well, that cruelty hasn't disappeared, because the harbour down beneath us now has a prison boat in it, the highly controversial and plain evil Bibby Stockholm prison boat, which this government were prepared to put poor folk onto just a few months ago, knowing full well that the boat had Legionnaire's disease in its heating system and air conditioning system. I think as a metaphor for the ghastly ghouls who run the British government currently, it couldn't be more apposite. I thought as we walked away from this place that things need to change, and I hope they do. I did enjoy seeing the former Olympic Marina, but best of all, this incredible multi-storey boat park. I've never seen anything quite like it before or since. So a multi-storey boat park, amazing. This pretty much finished off the day for Andy and I. He was going back to Dorset to stay with Hills for a few more days. I was driving back to Bristol that very evening. So not a walk that will feature high on my list of Southwest Coast Path greats, but I'm glad I've done it, and I have an affection for the Isle of Portland that goes back many years and includes, as I mentioned already, my cricketing days playing in the Quarries of Portland. Somehow felt like full circle. Well, the next time Andy and I will be down here walking will be from the Ferrybridge Inn heading east for the final chapters in our Coast Path adventure. Bring it on, walking fans, bring it on.